everyone, welcome back to our Bold Moves podcast. We hope you enjoyed last month's episode. So we are joined today on National Careers Week, where we get to see how different people take different pathways into the industry.
Yeah, so as part of that, we've actually got two guests joining us today. First up, we've got Gemma. Gemma's actually joining this episode remotely, but she joined the Search Engine Optimization Skills Bootcamp with Apprentify back in September, and she actually completed that course in October. And also, her employer actually contributed towards the cost of Gemma's course, allowing Gemma to kind of enhance her skills and become even more of a valuable asset to her organisation.
Yeah, and we're also joined by Kelly Buckley here today. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
Amazing, thank you. So Kelly Buckley is a current content apprentice at Juice Academy. So she is at the employment of Poke Marketing. She has completed a degree and a master's. So we get to see how her experiences changed as an apprentice. So let's hear from Gemma to see a little bit more about what she does at her employment.
So my name's Gemma and I'm a communications manager for Healthwatch Leeds. So Healthwatch is a local organisation that listens to people's experiences of health and social care services and tries to use their experiences to make the services better. And my role in that is basically handling all marketing, the website, content creation, and making sure that we're as accessible as possible to people.
Amazing, thank you. And Kelly, so tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm currently on the Juice Academy content creator course and I work at Poke Marketing as a content creator apprentice, so dealing with all things social media, marketing, creating content plans, stuff like that.
Amazing. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Amazing. And how long have you been doing it for?
Since October, so only about 4 months.
Oh, recently.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So Gemma, tell us a little bit about what kind of made you want to enhance your career through a skills bootcamp, and how would you say that's kind of shaped your professional journey so far?
So I wanted to do the boot camp mainly because I didn't have a lot of experience in search engine optimization, and with sort of my role in work managing the website, I wanted to make sure that pages were reaching people as much as possible, especially where we're sort of giving advice and information to people. So it was sort of really important to make sure that's seen, but also just personally just sort of developing my own skills, and I can sort of maybe apply it to other things that I do.
Amazing, thank you for that, Gemma. So Kelly, as someone who has attended both university and now on the apprenticeship scheme, how do you compare the two experiences to one another?
I feel like with apprenticeships, they do prepare you a bit more for a career. I feel like because you're in the workplace 24/7, you're constantly learning, whereas uni is more sit down, do whatever's on the whiteboard. I do feel like my unis did try to help me get a career, but I'm somebody who floats through life, so I know what I'm going to do by the end of the 3 years, whereas with this course, I do feel like I can plan where I'm going to end up, maybe even in 5 years.
Because you went to two different unis, right?
Yeah.
And would you say they kind of both felt that way to you?
I feel like, so my postgrad, I went to Uni of Liverpool. They have a very set in stone career path for people who go there, which did not fit in with what I am like at all. I would be told, what are you going to do next year? And I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They did also ask me to go and see a careers advisor. So you would go maybe once every 6 months. I was only there for a year, so I can imagine if you're there for 3 years, you would have to go throughout. But again, I wasn't much help. I feel bad for that careers advisor because I wasn't much help. But they do really try to put you in the right direction, but it's whether or not you mentally can handle it, whereas I don't think I could.
You like the hands-on experience?
Yeah, I'm more of... Personally, I don't think uni was the right path for me, but I wouldn't knock anybody else doing it if they think that it's good for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Personal choice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm kind of in a similar situation to you. Like, I did university as well, and then I did an apprenticeship. But as you say, I'm more of a kind of learner by doing. Like, I think kinesthetic, it's
Yeah.
called,
The
rather
same.
than just kind of sit down absorbing information and then expecting to apply that without any
Yeah,
practicality.
because then I didn't know what to do with the information I was given either. So I would be told to do a task, but I'm not sure how to develop that task based on what just reading a PowerPoint. That's what a lot of uni was on my degree. It was a lot of, this is the PowerPoint you'll be doing, go and do a task. But for me, I feel I haven't actually applied that to myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did really struggle a little bit in uni.
Well, we're glad that you found the right career path now.
Thank you.
So what motivated you to kind of explore an apprenticeship after university?
So after uni, my parents were like, get a job, basically.
Yeah, earn some money.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get a better job than I had. I was doing retail and stuff, like pretty rubbish, but for what my parents wanted. So I was like, right, I'm going to get a big girl job. But when I went onto Indeed and stuff and I was looking at what to do, I saw that Lad Bible were applying.
I
so
saw
I was,
that one
yeah.
too. Oh, no way.
So I was
Yeah,
like,
I
I'm
think
going
it
to
was-
just apply.
Yeah, it's really popular, that one.
Yeah, apparently most of my cohort applied for
Oh,
that
really?
one. So I applied not knowing what juice was, and I didn't know it was an apprenticeship when I applied. So then when I applied, I was like, oh, they're making me fill out a content creator form for an academy. But I was like, I'll just do it anyway because I didn't think I was going to get in. But then I kept getting emails from Sam being like, you should apply for this one, you should apply for this one. So I was like, okay, if an apprenticeship is what I should do, I'm going to try and do it.
It's a sign.
It's a sign.
Yeah.
And I did a few interviews with some different companies, and then Poke kind of fell into my hands, and the people at Poke were like, okay, we see the potential. So I just took the opportunity, but I didn't really think, an apprenticeship didn't really cross my mind. So I think it fell to me at the right time, but I didn't really think much of it at the time.
So you kind of fell into it almost unintentionally, but it
Yeah.
seems like a good match, and obviously it's worked out for you.
Yeah,
so-
like I didn't do any research into what an apprenticeship was. I didn't even see it as a career path for me. I didn't see it as that would be my end goal. And plus, somebody with 2 degrees, when you tell people you're doing an apprenticeship,
Yeah.
there's a bit of a taboo there. Like, why? Like, why are
Yeah.
you doing that? But for me, it doesn't make a difference why I'm doing it. Like, it's another qualification at the end of the day. It's something else to put on the CV. But I do think if I was 18 and had that fallen into my lap, I'd have done that instead.
I'm the same. I'm the
100%.
same, yeah,
Like,
totally.
I wish I hadn't forced myself to go to uni, because in sixth form they were like, uni's the end goal, you have to go to uni. If I'd have known about this apprenticeship, I'd have done it years ago. And I
least you know
probably would
now.
have, at least
Yeah.
I know now, at least I'm doing it now. But yeah, it is worth it.
And saved on debt, right? Because I always think about that as well.
I know, because I've just got myself in more debt with a master's anyway. A master's I'm probably never going to use, because the content creator does more for me than the master's even does, which is kind of, it's wins and losses. Like, I do have the master's and I can scream about it and tell people that I've got it, but I haven't found use for it yet, unfortunately. One day.
One day, yeah.
I suppose not to completely knock university. I enjoyed that experience of like
Yeah.
living away and, kind of being a young adult with like friends your age and kind of that new experience. But I just suppose I'm speaking not so beneficial to the academic side.
I think that was why I did it. I wanted a fresh start. I'm from a very small town, so like you see the same people every day, and I wanted out. So uni was my out to do that. But I do feel like I learned a lot about myself, maybe that I wouldn't have known if I didn't go to uni. So it was beneficial to me for life reasons, maybe not educational
Bit
reasons.
of independence.
Yeah, a bit of a fresh start, getting to live with friends. Like, what more could you want?
I mean, it's great that you're an example to others who, are perhaps on a similar path to you as well, where they've been to university, but they're also thinking of joining an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
They wasn't sure if that was the right angle to go, but, you're proof that you can do both. So.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Amazing. So let's hear from Gemma. So could you share some insights of the skills you gained from the bootcamp?
Yeah, I think it's been interesting to see different ways that you can sort of find out how well your website's performing. And there's loads of different like free options, which is really useful and accessible for anyone to use. And then also sort of the business development side of it, and sort of learning about different acronyms like PESTLE, and doing like SWOT analysis and things like that. And I've sort of been able to use that to sort of develop a communications plan for this upcoming year, which has been really useful.
Thanks. Were there any challenges would you say that you faced during the boot camp, and how did they kind of prepare you for your role in this industry?
I think the biggest challenge was probably the fact that I was working at the same time as doing the boot camp. So there was a lot of trying to manage doing the boot camp and any sort of extra learning for that, and my usual week-to-week workload. I think it's been quite useful because it sort of helped me manage sort of working more flexibly and sort of being able to adapt to sort of a sudden need to go off and do something one day, and everything else can sort of be picked up throughout the rest of the week.
Amazing. So Kelly, could you give us a bit of your own personal advice you'd give to someone who's debating going down the traditional route of university, or maybe a different route like an apprenticeship?
I would say don't put all your eggs in one basket, because that's what I did and it didn't work out. Obviously, I did say that sixth form pushed uni, and they did kind of push it with us. Like, it was like there were no other options, and I wish that I had done my own research with it and maybe considered other paths, because I look at my uni experience, and while it was everything that I thought it would be in terms of the lifestyle, and the education did teach me a lot as well, but I don't think it gave me enough opportunities, especially because of COVID. COVID fell during my first year of uni, so I wasn't really getting work placements, like I wasn't getting many opportunities, so that did make it harder once we eventually graduated and left. That was why I did a master's as well, because I was worried I wouldn't get a good enough job without it. I mean, this fell into my hands anyway, so it worked out in the end, but I would just say don't force yourself to do what everyone else is doing.
Did you get much support about or acknowledgement of an apprenticeship at sixth form in your college? Or?
My sixth form was very much uni is the only option.
Right.
Which is not, it wasn't good at the time. It has changed since I found out. They are pushing apprenticeships now, but no, we weren't really given the resources about them. And the only people who were people who flat out said, I'm not going to uni. I was too scared to do that. Teachers would ask me, be like, yeah, I'm going to uni. I know what I'm going to do. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just too scared to speak up. But I think 18-year-olds are given this big opportunity where you need to know what you're doing. But the schools don't really teach you your life's going to change. By the time you turn 18, you're going to move to a new city, you're going to do all this stuff.
I think it's kind of mad as well how the system's framed to think that not going down the traditional path is almost rogue and seen as a negative. When really, like, so many more people these days are doing that, and it's definitely a good
because
thing.
As well too, I didn't know you could get paid for an apprenticeship. So when I was in sixth form getting ready to go to uni, I had no idea you could get a job and learn at the same time. So had I have definitely known that, that would have been the path that I'd have gone down 100%. I wouldn't have even have considered going to uni. But I do think uni is good for people who are looking for kind of stability, like people who know, okay, I'm going to get this kind of degree and then I'm going to go into this career path. I wasn't that kind of person. I didn't really have a steady career path. I didn't know where I wanted to end up. So I think an apprenticeship is more aimed at people like me who might want to work towards a specific career but then could fall into another one. Like, who knows? Like, this might not even be my end goal, but I'm working towards it.
Yeah, and you get to experience loads of different skills in this apprenticeship, don't you?
Yeah.
So you can find maybe it's filming, editing. You could try out different things and see what you prefer, which is great.
Exactly, and you're off the study hours, off the job hours as well. Off the study hours. With that, you can do your learning around yourself, your own interests. Whereas at uni, it's very like syllabus type work, which is good for people who like having the stability, like I say. But for me, I want to do whatever I want to do. I'm not somebody who's really tied down to doing one specific thing. So with the apprenticeship, I get to learn, like, I get to do this podcast, and then on Friday I get to go to an event. Like, it's really open.
Sounds the dream.
I know, right?
This is a great segue into my next question. So this is a question for you both. How would you, speaking about those opportunities, how would you recommend others kind of leverage their own opportunities to kind of advance themselves in their own careers? Gemma, we'll start with you.
I think networking is key, just to be able to sort of get advice and bounce off other people, and is useful if you're just wanting to sort of level up in your career, making sure that you know the right people to sort of get you where you want to be. But it's also useful to be able to advance and level up and sort of develop your skills, because in that way you can stay on top of things and know what the current trends are, and sort of be more successful in your career. So I've been able to recommend the Apprentify BootCamp to lots of colleagues within the NHS and sort of across the system, because I feel like I'm a lot more advanced and more knowledgeable about search engine optimization, and it's probably really useful for them to sort of be up to date as well.
That's great, thank you. Kelly, how about you?
I think you should take every opportunity that comes your way. Never say no to anything, because as well, when I was younger, I was so scared to say yes, because I felt, that's not going to benefit me. This isn't going to be good for my career. But I've learned not to say no to things recently, because, well, you should never say yes if you feel like you're not going to have the time. Like, if you don't have the time, don't say yes. But if you do have the time and you do want to put the effort in, I would say just use every opportunity that comes your way and just take what you're given. And networking's quite good for that as well. you know, there's so many opportunities when you're young, and there's so much I said no to that I wish I'd have said yes to, because I think my life could have turned out not better but more fulfilled. Like, I could have done a lot more.
They say nothing grows in the comfort zone.
Exactly.
So
And I
true.
stuck to my comfort zone a bit too much. Like, I feel people should step out of their comfort zone a bit more. It is the most rewarding thing that you can do.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Amazing. So this is a question for both of you. How do you believe the industry perception of non-traditional pathways, like boot camps and apprenticeships, is evolving, and what roles does it play in the hiring decisions? We'll start with Gemma.
I think before, a lot of people were swaying towards people going to university and getting a degree, but I find now, especially from a boot camp perspective, I think just having the experience and being able to upskill is a lot better than having a degree, because a lot of employers are looking for people that have experience and have particular skills that you're able to get by doing sort of a short course somewhere else.
Amazing. Thank you, Gemma. And Kelly, what about yourself?
So when I was doing the interview process, I was asked, why are you doing an apprenticeship? Which I feel like is a common perception with people, like, why are you doing an apprenticeship with a degree? But even taking off the degree standpoint, even if you've not got a degree, I would say that industry perceptions to apprenticeships are changing, because when I network with people who are doing apprenticeships and they don't have a degree, they're trying to be a sponge and soak up every bit of information that they can. So I feel the industry is welcoming this a bit more and seeing it as a different path. And it can also get you to where you want to be quicker as well. Doing an apprenticeship for a year, you can learn a lot in that time, but then get a really good job at the end of it. So it does have its benefit.
I think that all the time too. Like, if you join an apprenticeship, say at 18, and you get like a year, 2 years experience at 20, before an 18-year-old at uni's graduated at 21, you're already starting on a salary higher than them, and you know you're a year ahead.
Exactly. Like, I'm 22 now. I've done 4 years at uni, and I'm doing an apprenticeship. And people in my cohort are younger too, but it's great life experience for me to see them start from the beginning in an apprenticeship, because I see how it's so different now, where schools encourage this apprenticeship and say, this is the new way forward, and this is how you can get to where you want to be just a bit quicker, but still as fulfilled as going to uni. Like,
you touched on earlier about your own sixth form kind of changing their attitudes and their perceptions. I assume you're glad to hear that. And how did you find out about that?
so I have a friend who works at the sixth form now.
Inside scoop.
I know, a little bit of inside gossip, but my sixth form, not to name drop, you'll probably find out anyway, but they had like a program where people who were really intelligent would go on the program and were pushed to go to Russell Group unis, and I was on that program. I didn't end up going to a Russell Group uni until I was 22 when I did the masters, but I took an unconditional offer to Uni of Salford, because I was like, okay, this is my into the industry. I don't need to worry about A-levels, which was a silly attitude to have. Like, I look back and I'm like, you should have cared a bit more. But I did okay in my A-levels. Like, it got me to where I needed to be. But I look at now they're putting like apprenticeship leaflets in the library for kids to read, apparently, and like they're proper pushing it. And I just think, I wish you'd have done that for me. Like, I wish I'd have thought, God, that's a good way of getting a job.
Well, thank you so much for that, Kelly, and thank you also, Gemma, for joining us.
Thank you guys for watching today's episode. We hope you enjoyed. And if anyone is interested in doing an apprenticeship or a boot camp, the links will be down below to check out. So have a look. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.